There are roads in England that experienced drivers, people who've been behind the wheel for 30, 40 years, will simply refuse to use after dark. Not because they're lost, not because they don't know the way, but because they know exactly what these roads are like. And they've decided that no destination is worth what happens on them at night. These are real roads. Roads that appear on your sat-nav as perfectly normal routes. Roads that carry ordinary traffic during the day. Roads that look, on a map, like nothing to worry about. But experienced drivers know the truth. Some of these roads have earned nicknames that tell you everything you need to know before you've even set foot in the car. The Widowmaker. The Struggle. The Devil's Staircase. Today, we're counting down the 10 roads in England that drivers refuse to use at night, and the real reasons why. Stay with us, because number 1 on this list has a death toll that will genuinely stop you in your tracks. Welcome back to our channel, the channel that gives you the honest, unfiltered truth about life across the United Kingdom. If you're new here, hit subscribe. We post every single week. Now, let's get into it. Before we begin, some context, because the numbers here matter. In 2024, according to official UK road safety data, 1,671 people were killed on Britain's roads. A further 28,804 were seriously injured. And here's the statistic that should make every driver sit up straight. Nighttime driving accounts for only around 25% of all miles driven in the UK. But it accounts for nearly 40% of all fatal accidents. Think about that for a moment. The roads don't change after dark. The bends are in the same places. The gradients are exactly the same. But with no street lighting, reduced visibility, tired drivers, and conditions that can change without warning, the same road that felt perfectly manageable at noon can become genuinely life-threatening at midnight. Now add in ice, fog, rain, and roads that were in some cases built by the Romans. These are the 10 roads where experienced English drivers draw the line. Number 10. The A388, Launceston to Lifton, Devon, Cornwall border. We start in the far southwest of England, where the roads narrow, the hedgerows close in, and the daylight disappears earlier than almost anywhere else in the country. The A388 weaves its way through the rural hillsides of Devon and Cornwall, connecting Launceston to Lifton through a series of steep inclines, sharp bends, and what road safety experts politely describe as significant changes in lighting conditions. What they mean is this: the road plunges in and out of heavy tree cover, creating patches of near-total darkness even when your headlights are on. You can be driving in open countryside one moment and under a canopy of overhanging branches the next. And in the split second it takes for your eyes to adjust, you can already be in trouble. Between 2013 and 2018, the A388 recorded 17 collisions of varying severity. Several of them were fatal. The road is particularly dangerous for young drivers. Locals in the area describe it as the kind of road that punishes overconfidence. At night, with no street lighting for miles at a stretch, the A388 demands your absolute, undivided attention. And even then, one moment of distraction, 1 second of misjudgment on a bend, can take you straight through a hedgerow and down a bank into a field. Most experienced Devon drivers won't touch it after 9 o'clock at night. And frankly, you shouldn't either. Number 9. The A303, Gateway to Somerset. The A303 is one of England's most famous roads. Millions of drivers use it every year to reach the West Country, Cornwall, Devon, Somerset. It passes within sight of Stonehenge. It carries enormous volumes of holiday traffic every single summer. And it is, according to road safety analysts, genuinely one of the most dangerous roads in southern England. Here is the specific problem with the A303 at night. This road has a split personality. One moment, it's a fast dual carriageway. 2 lanes in each direction, 70 miles per hour. Everything feels fine. Then, with very little warning, it narrows to a single carriageway. Suddenly, you're on a country A road. Overtaking becomes dangerous. Lorries loom large, and the patience of tired drivers frays fast. At night, this transition is far harder to read. Drivers traveling at motorway speeds find themselves suddenly behind slow-moving farm vehicles or caravans that they simply didn't see in time. The stretch through Somerset and Wiltshire is also prone to dense fog in autumn and winter. The kind of sea mist fog that rolls in off the Somerset levels with almost no warning and drops visibility to near zero in under a minute. Somerset County Council has acknowledged the A303 as among the most dangerous roads in its region. Nighttime driving on this road, particularly between October and March, is something experienced local drivers treat with enormous respect, or avoid entirely. Number 8. The A35, Dorset. In 2024, Dorset police recorded the A35 as the single most collision-prone road in the entire county, with 141 accidents recorded in that year alone. Out of nearly 1,500 car accidents across all of Dorset in 2024, more happened here than on any other road. At a national level, the A35 has also been named the most dangerous road in the UK by raw collision numbers in broader analyses of county road data. The A35 stretches from Bournemouth to the Devon border, cutting through some of Dorset's most remote and beautiful countryside. During daylight hours, it's a perfectly pleasant drive. Rolling hills, ancient woodland, glimpses of the Jurassic coast. At night, it becomes something else. The road is almost entirely unlit. The terrain undulates constantly, dips and rises that compress your stopping distance in ways that your headlights simply cannot compensate for. There are stretches where a deer, a cyclist, or a pedestrian can appear in your lights with less than 2 seconds of reaction time at 60 miles per hour. Speed, Dorset police confirmed, is the leading factor in serious collisions on the A35. And at night, when drivers feel the road belongs to them, when tiredness sets in, when the temptation to push the speed rises on an empty stretch of tarmac, that combination is lethal. The A35 at night is not a road you drive fast on, if you drive it at all. We're approaching the halfway point, and the roads coming up are significantly more dangerous than anything we've covered so far. These are the roads where the terrain itself becomes the enemy, where the history books have chapters in them, and where even in daylight, experienced drivers treat every bend like it might be their last. At night, these roads are in a category of their own. Number 7. The A1, Rutland section, East Midlands. The A1 is the longest road in Britain. At 410 miles, it connects London to Edinburgh, and it has been doing so in some form or another since the Roman Empire. And along its entire length, one particular section stands out as being genuinely, statistically shocking. The A1, as it passes through Rutland in the East Midlands, one of England's smallest counties, home to around 38,000 people, records a fatality rate equivalent to approximately 5 deaths per 10,000 residents. That is an extraordinary figure for a county of that size. The problem with the A1 is one that sounds almost too simple to be dangerous. It cannot decide what it wants to be. In some stretches, it is a full motorway, dual carriageway, hard shoulder, barrier down the middle, properly lit. In other stretches, including sections through Rutland and Lincolnshire, it drops to a single carriageway A road with no central reservation, no lighting, and lorry traffic that has been traveling at motorway speeds for the last hour. At night, drivers accustomed to motorway conditions don't always adjust in time. The transition is poorly signed. The lorries don't slow down. Road safety experts have called for this section of the A1 to be upgraded to full motorway standard for years. At the time of making this video, it has not happened. At night, experienced drivers on this route do one of two things. They take the M1 instead, even if it adds 30 minutes to their journey. Or they drive with the kind of concentration they haven't needed since their driving test. Number 6. The A537 Cat and Fiddle Road, Cheshire, Derbyshire. It has been called the Widowmaker. The A537, stretching 10.2 miles between Macclesfield and Buxton, rising to 1,689 feet above sea level through the Peak District National Park, has earned that name through a history of accidents so severe that the authorities have spent over £500,000 trying to make it safer, and it still keeps appearing on every dangerous roads list in the country. The statistics are stark. Between 2007 and 2011 alone, there were 44 serious or fatal crashes on the Cat and Fiddle. Motorcyclists account for just 2% of traffic on the road, but historically made up 75% of deaths and serious injuries. The Eurorap Road Safety Program rated this road black, the highest risk rating in existence. Average speed cameras were installed. The speed limit was dropped to 50 miles per hour. And still, at night, the Cat and Fiddle becomes something that experienced Peak District drivers regard with a particular and very specific kind of dread. There is no lighting. Not a single street lamp along its entire length. The dry stone walls that line the road, charming by day, become invisible traps by night. The road rises and falls through the Pennine moorland with a series of severe bends and steep drop-offs. In winter, ice forms on sections of the road that sunlight never reaches, even in summer. The Cheshire Safer Roads Partnership has issued explicit warnings to drivers about this road for years. A Cumbria police communications officer famously said of a similar road, "People shouldn't seek out the road to challenge themselves." After dark on the Cat and Fiddle, the road will make that decision for you. Number 5. The A57 Snake Pass, Peak District. Snake Pass was named the third most dangerous road in the entire world by road safety analysts at stressfreecarrental.com. Not in England, not in Britain, in the world. And when you understand the facts, that ranking doesn't feel like an exaggeration. The A57, known as Snake Pass, runs 26 miles from Glossop through the Pennines to the Ladybower Reservoir near Sheffield. It was opened in 1821 and was, at the time, the highest turnpike road in England. 200 years later, it still feels like it belongs to a different era. Between 2014 and 2018, the road recorded 137 collisions. 28 of those, between 2017 and 2019, were serious or fatal. The road is closed on average 70 days per year due to adverse weather conditions: snow, landslides, severe ice. It was closed for an extended period following a significant landslide on the upper section of the pass. At night, Snake Pass operates on a different set of rules entirely. There are blind summits on this road that even experienced drivers approach with genuine anxiety in daylight. At night, with no lighting, in the fog that regularly rolls across the Pennines from the west, those summits are invisible until you're already on them. The road's surface is frequently compromised, potholed, subsiding, and in winter, buried entirely. Derbyshire Police launched a campaign specifically to monitor dangerous behavior on Snake Pass. Emergency services insisted on a communications mast being erected along the route so they could maintain contact, because signal fails in the valleys. The message from everyone who knows this road is simple and consistent. If you need to travel between Sheffield and Manchester after dark, take the motorway. Add the extra 40 minutes. Get there later. Get there. Number 4. the A592. Kirkstone Pass, Lake District. The locals have a name for the approach road to Kirkstone Pass. They call it the Struggle. That tells you most of what you need to know. At 1,489 feet above sea level, Kirkstone Pass is the highest mountain pass in the Lake District, and one of the most treacherous roads in England when conditions turn against you. The road is narrow, steep, and winding. The drop from the carriageway edge in sections is unforgiving. There are no barriers. Mountain rescue teams are regularly called to assist drivers caught in sudden weather changes on Kirkstone. The pass sits at an altitude where the weather operates independently of everywhere within 20 miles. A clear evening in Ambleside can mean whiteout conditions at the summit with no warning whatsoever. Kirkstone Pass also carries, according to road safety specialists, an additional nighttime risk that makes it particularly distinctive. With the highest point reaching 1,489 feet, visibility at night is described by experts as particularly difficult. With no lighting of any kind, the darkness here is total in a way that urban and suburban drivers are simply not prepared for. There is an inn at the summit, the Kirkstone Pass Inn, the third highest pub in England, which, on a clear night, glows like a lighthouse in the darkness. Experienced drivers who know this road will tell you honestly, seeing that light is a genuine relief. What comes before it and what comes after is not. Number 3. Hardknott Pass, Cumbria. There is a road in the Lake District that has a maximum gradient of 1 in 3. Read that again. 1 in 3. For every 3 meters you travel forward, you rise or fall by 1 meter. That is steeper than most ski slopes. And this is a public road, classified and maintained, that appears on sat-nav systems across the country. Hardknott Pass connects the Duddon Valley to Eskdale in the heart of the Lake District. It is an ancient road, literally ancient, as a Roman road was first laid through this pass by the Roman army sometime around the 2nd century AD. The Romans built Hardknott Fort here, which still stands on the hillside today, one of the most remote outposts in the entire Roman Empire. The road that exists now clings to the same terrain that challenged Roman engineers 2,000 years ago. It features a series of tight hairpin bends that require 3-point turns in some vehicles. The surface is exposed. Wind, ice, and rain batter it year-round with no shelter. At 400 meters above sea level, Hardknott is routinely closed to motor traffic in winter conditions. Larger vehicles are strongly discouraged. Campervans, minibuses, and caravans regularly become stranded. Cumbria Police communications officers have publicly, explicitly told drivers, do not use this road to challenge yourself. At night, Hardknott Pass does not require a challenge. It simply requires you to make a mistake. Any mistake. And the consequences on a road with a 1 in 3 gradient, hairpin bends, no lighting, and drop-offs on one side are not ambiguous. Number 3 on our list, and an easy entry. Number 2. The B6270, Swaledale, North Yorkshire. Most drivers have never heard of the B6270. That is, in large part, the problem. Swaledale is one of the most remote and spectacularly beautiful valleys in the entire Yorkshire Dales National Park. The B6270 runs through it for approximately 25 miles, from the market town of Richmond in the east to the high moors above Kirkby Stephen in the west. In summer, during the day, it is breathtaking. Dry stone walls, wildflowers, traditional farming. Photographers come from across the country. At night, in winter, the B6270 becomes one of the most genuinely isolating driving experiences in England. The road is single track for significant stretches, 1 lane in both directions, with passing places to squeeze past oncoming traffic. In daylight, this is manageable. In darkness, meeting another vehicle on a blind bend at the top of a rise, in fog, with a stone wall on one side and a drop into the River Swale on the other, is not something that experienced drivers take lightly. Mobile signal across much of Swaledale is essentially non-existent. If you break down or come off the road, you are in a deep, remote valley with no street lighting, no phone signal, and potentially no passing traffic for hours. The road floods regularly. Sheep appear on the carriageway without warning, and at night, dark-faced Swaledale sheep on a dark road with no reflective markers are essentially invisible until you're upon them. There is no mystery about why drivers who know Swaledale refuse to drive the B6270 after dark. The mystery is only that this road is not more widely known outside the Yorkshire Dales. Consider this your warning. Number 1. Hardknott and the Wrynose Pass combined route, Cumbria. The reason this entry takes the number 1 position on this list is simple. Hardknott Pass alone is terrifying. We've already established that. But most drivers don't realize that Hardknott and Wrynose Pass are connected. That driving through this part of the Lake District means taking both of them back to back, with no escape route in between. Wrynose Pass, connecting Little Langdale to the Cocklaybeck Valley, reaches 393 meters at its summit and features the same combination of steep gradients, hairpin bends, no barriers, and total absence of street lighting as Hardknott. The famous Three-Shire Stone at the summit, where the ancient counties of Cumberland, Westmoreland, and Lancashire once met, stands in darkness at night like a monument at the edge of the world. The combined Wrynose-Hardknott route is, by any rational measure, the most hostile road combination in England after dark. If anything goes wrong out here at night, a tire blowout, an engine failure, a moment of overcorrection on a 1 in 3 descent, you are in one of the most remote locations in the English Lake District, with no signal, no lighting, no passing traffic, and gradients that make simply getting a broken-down vehicle off the road a technical challenge. Even the RAC and AA have warnings on file about this route in winter conditions. There is a reason why the most experienced Lake District drivers, the ones who know every pass, every valley, every sheep track in Cumbria, simply shake their heads when you suggest this route after dark. It's not that they can't do it, it's that they're wise enough to know they shouldn't have to. 10 roads. 10 very real reasons why experienced English drivers trust their instincts when those instincts tell them, not this road, not tonight. In 2024, speed contributed to 59% of all road deaths in the UK. Nighttime driving accounts for a disproportionate share of every serious accident category. And the roads on this list, remote, unlit, steep, and demanding, combine every risk factor into one. None of these roads are impossible. People drive them every day, in daylight, in good conditions, at appropriate speeds, with full concentration. But there is a reason the locals avoid them after dark, and that reason is not cowardice. It is experience. The most important thing you can ever learn as a driver is not how fast you can go. It is knowing when not to go at all. Stay safe out there. And if your sat-nav suggests any of these roads after sunset, consider listening to the locals instead. If you've driven any of the roads on today's list, especially at night, we genuinely want to hear about it. Drop your experience in the comments below. Was it as bad as we described? Was it worse? And if you think we've missed a road that deserves a place on this list, tell us. We're already working on part 2. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We post every week, and every week, we bring you the kind of honest, detailed content about the United Kingdom that you simply won't find anywhere else. Until next time, drive safely. And if in doubt, take the motorway.